Okay, back to this. Hopefully we get to play one of those lovely non-games here. This hand looks pretty much like a non-game hand. Yeah. Draw another spirit guide. There's an interesting bait. I guess there's no need to Street Wraith right now. I think I just want the bigger creatures, even if they have to attack every turn. Think I'm supposed to discard Architects? I can always put the Macabre into my graveyard by discarding it to exile. Oh, it's up to even, so I can't accidentally. Yeah. So I think it's just the Architects here. Though, that's only because the Architects is a color of mana that I don't have right now. If these were all red cyclers, I might have actually discarded the Demonic Dread, because I don't think I need all three to fight through stuff. That's fine. I don't need Demonic Dread. Yep. This could get ugly. That was my window, I think. Was that term with the Liliana? Discard Fulminator. Oh, never mind that nonsense about windows. I'm actually perfectly fine if I draw a land here. Okay, so based on my opponent's play, I think I'm supposed to just pass the turn here. Because I would like to get these creatures into play, not into a Wrath. I'll discard the Fairy Macabre, that's fine. Oh, here we go. Fun. Fair magic card that Simian Sphere Guide is. Oh, I have to kill my own Macabre? That sucks. You can draw those in exactly that order. Uh, 8 to 19. You. If you have a Slaughter Pact, you can't pay. Great. What would I have drawn? I was kind of excited to be able to outburst, but well, I see blue cards. I will board as if my opponent has blue cards. This is the worst cycler in my deck. Just take out the expensive ones in this matchup. I'd rather have a fuller graveyard earlier and more things to find than I don't think I need the big flyer here. All my creatures are equally mediocre. Or big flying blocker, I guess, not flyer. No counters. Opponent's like either some kind of gift stack or Espermentor. Some really weird Esper deck that I'm not thinking about. The Disfigure points towards a Snapcaster Mage deck. Maybe just, maybe the Jace Goryo's Vengeance deck? So, for those of you who haven't seen that deck, it's a bit of a newer brew. The idea is that if you Goryo's Vengeance a Jace Vryn's Prodigy, and then activate it, and it flips, you get to keep it. And the same applies to Obzedat, whatever it's called, Obzedat Ghost Council of stuff. This hand's fine. Obzedat the Ghost Council, the one from Gatecrash. One white, white, black, black legend. So at the end of the turn, both triggers, there's a trigger from the Goryo's Vengeance to exile it that goes on the stack. But the Obzedat itself has a trigger to exile it and then return it to play. So you exile it, it comes back, and you just get to Obzedat early in the game. It's not the fanciest, but does the job. I think I'm leading on Copperline here. The idea, so I have a thing to do with my mana. Yeah, so if I lead on Copperline, there's a chance that I draw a land or enough land that I don't actually want to play this untapped at some point. I can save life. I don't think it matters too much, but you didn't choose me? Tasigur? Sure. That doesn't bother me. Think I'm supposed to... Ooh, save that Street Wraith. Same thing as last turn, playing the untapped land. That's going to fetch a basic swamp here. Is that right? No, I need double red. So that's going to fetch a mountain. I don't need double black. Don't be rest in peace. There's not going to be a rest in peace in my opponent's deck. Okay. That's kind of a problem. That's an even bigger part of the problem, actually. So I said this is going to get mountain because I need the double for that. So the problem is that okay, that actually removes a lot of my fears here. That's also a good draw. Painless land, though I'm going to have to take the pain anyways. This is a chance I don't. So that let me wait on killing this, which meant I took 3 less damage this turn. Because if my opponent has a counterspell, I can just ricochet trap it. I'm okay with informing my opponent's play here, because I think the life matters in the face of the unblockable land. Yeah, because now I get to go to 7 after cycling the Street Wraith. I'm taking the 2 here, which gives me an extra turn. 8 versus 7's kind of the same. 9 versus 7, or 9 versus 8's also the same, so... This Street Wraith is the problem. That puts me to 6. That does give me 3... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't cycle that Street Wraith. Because if my opponent plays another land, I'm actually not in good shape. I actually just die in the 2 attacks. So red, red, black. Demonic Dread. Because I only have 14 damage between my graveyard, or in my graveyard with my opponent at 15. So if they had a land that, yeah, this is fine. What's this? What is this targeting? Oh, Jungle Weaver? Gosh, that's a problem. That wasn't a blue spell. Well, I think I know how to cycle this other Street Wraith despite not wanting to. So I think I just need to put enough power into the graveyard. Okay. I don't think my opponent understands how this works. Choose target card in a graveyard. Why does it say choose target card in a graveyard? My opponent changed the target for surgical extraction to Meddling Mage. They're now obligated to exile that Meddling Mage. They are, right? Because, yeah, they're searching a public zone. So they're required. For any number. Okay, any number can be 0. Never mind. Okay, so I get back 9 power. Still dead to a painless land. Still basically just dead to a land, actually. So, here's to hoping. Should have named Simian Spirit Guide. Yeah, Swamp. I don't know why that was a question. And now I need to draw a Fulminator Mage to win the game. I'm gonna. I can draw Fulminator Mage or a Beast Within. Oh, that's not the right play at all. That's kind of lucky. Can now draw a lot of cards to win the game. Murderous cut. Yeah, okay. I'm actually just gonna die here instead. Okay. Uh, so I need Shriek Maws in this matchup. Definitely don't want Ricochet Trap. This kind of demonstrates one of the dangers of this deck, which is that you aren't really a full-on combo deck, and it is possible to go off and get like that. It's basically my opponent had two Path deck styles. Like that surgical nonsense didn't really matter much. Um, yeah, I'm dead at this point. Not actually dead. If I draw Fulminator here, I'm not 100% out of it. Because my opponent did exile their entire graveyard. Not what I needed. Yeah, I need Shriek Maws to handle these Meddling Mages. I'll cut down on a Ricochet Trap and just cut down on another Ricochet Trap. Maybe just all the Ricochet Traps and go Jungle Weaving. We haven't seen a counter in quite a few cards. I feel like our opponent's probably on just between like Surgical Extraction and Monastery Mentor. It feels like Inquisition of Kozilek's a much more likely card for our opponent to have. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to have Fairy Macabre so that I can counter Surgical on Living End if my opponent hits it. Though that involves me actually drawing Living End and then my opponent discards Felling It and having a Surgical, which is a lot. Yeah, this hand's very good here. No need to cycle Street Wraith until later. Until I actually have a land or something I need to hit. Should be next turn. Please don't play Meddling Mage. That's a card that just like comes in and out of different internal formats. Meddling Mage. Oh, I now have black mana? That's lucky. Well, I'm now not obligated to do anything for the rest of the game. That's a lie. At some point, I will have to go off and step on tap. Go off again. If I hit Simian Spirit Guide, I'm just going to cast one of these with a cycle. So I die to Surgical Extraction if my opponent has it. For 3 dorks. Yeah, let's get a little less risky and just fire this off in response. That was kind of loose because I actually have three things, but it's not really three things. Counter Squall, okay. I guess the end result would have been the same any way it goes. I like this plan. Nothing with power. No! That's two good things. That's not allowed. You had a thing with power and toughness and a thing to flashback? Take my demonic dread. Take my dignity. See if I care. My opponent trying to figure out what to put into play. Nothing. Two. Well, that card doesn't do anything. Tap land is worse than the other land. Okay. Fulminator. Well, I get a rebuy to a Fulminator. Get another rebuy to a Fulminator. I don't really want to cycle that, do I? I don't. Doesn't really change the clock, I guess. In any sense of the clock, I guess. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'd rather just force my opponent to have two things with two cards here. That's fine. Do I get to put 17 power into play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think if that's my opponent's play, I'm supposed to cycle this on upkeep then. My opponent gets back a Tasigur, but I can make the Tasigur not block, which is good. Oh, I get to put a lot of things into play. Well, Shriekmaw doesn't do anything. That's this turn, right? I did count right. I still have the ability to do math sometimes. What's surgical targeting? Jungle Weaver? Okay, that's... Is that a from hand one? That's fine. Feeling my opponent is not going to figure out what's going on here. I was hoping there was... wait, no. Old Legend rule for a second got me. It's like two Tassigurs. Wait, no, they just keep the one that matters. Is that two Jungle Weavers? No, it's just the one for my deck. Target you. Target me. Target me. I ordered those in the wrong order, I think. These cards are all terrible. Let's get a fresh 3. Not drawn for my turn yet? Oh, actually, the Street Wraith wasn't horrible. I could have drawn that and cast it. There we go. My opponent's cards are... You can draw Flooded Strand next turn. So I want to put Mentor on bottom, Thoughtseize, Flooded Strand. No need to activate just yet. This is a good blocker if Tasigur attacks. My opponent's last card is a sweeper. What do I do? I play the Fulminator from the top of my deck and win the game. By win the game, I mean put a lot of power into play. So I know my opponent's drawing Flooded Strand here. Maybe they were supposed to Ghost Quarter themselves on upkeep. Oh, then I can sack and they don't get the site. Yeah, that doesn't work. They're supposed to Polluted Delta on upkeep, actually. Cool. I finally won one with this deck. I think that's the first time I've ever won a match with Living End ever in the history of any format, including Extended when it was legal. Yeah. Some interesting stuff in those long games in terms of positioning. Uh, Living End can get kind of awkward when you're playing against blue decks all day.